Good morning and happy Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroy Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. It's a good day today. It's a good day today. Why is it a good day today? Because the left-wing nutbag known as Jimmy Kimmel, Brennan thinks nutbag is a funny word. The left-wing nutbag known as Jimmy Kimmel has been fired. He has been canceled. He has faced the consequences for his actions. And I want to ask everybody real quick, and I want everybody to be honest. Because I'm going to, I'll answer it after you guys answer it. But I want everybody to be honest. When you heard the news, and I want to be very clear. Don't shame anybody for saying one way or the other, okay? But when you heard the news that Jimmy Kimmel was fired because of inaccurate reporting on Charlie Kirk's assassin, did you feel just a little bit like, am I celebrating cancel culture? Yeah. Just a little bit. Did you feel just a little bit like, oh, yeah, should I celebrate this because isn't this cancel culture? Did you feel a little conflicted?
I didn't feel about that because of cancel culture. I was just kind of like, gosh, I feel bad to celebrating somebody's like downfall. You know what I mean?
Or schadenfreude, yeah. Okay.
What did you say?
Schadenfreude. It's like when you celebrate at the expense of somebody else's misfortune. Okay. It's technically, it's bad form, whatever. I felt a little, I was like, just a little. I had to ask myself, am I celebrating cancel culture? So we look at the facts of what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, right? We look at the facts. And we find out that, no, actually, I don't think we are celebrating cancel culture by doing this. Again, I know I use the term consequence culture, and it's like, but isn't that the same thing, or isn't that kind of like cancel culture watered down? Well, it depends. The difference here, and again, and I want you all to just swallow this, just take this in. Look at the left's reaction to the firing of Jimmy Kimmel. They are more upset that a man lost his job than they are that a man lost his life. And that speaks volumes. They want to parade around and act like they stand for free speech when a man a week ago was murdered for his free speech. But Jimmy Kimmel getting fired, that's the line in the sand for you guys? Oh, no. No. And, again, how many times have we said it? How many times have we said it? And you have probably said it as well, because this is a very, very smart audience, right? The First Amendment does not protect you from getting fired by your employer. The First Amendment protects you from having your speech, if it is protected speech, most speech is. It protects you from having your speech, if it is protected speech, from being criminalized by the government. Jimmy Kimmel's speech was not criminalized by the government. And it was an ABC affiliate, Sinclair Broadcasting, which in the past has not been very friendly to conservatives and the right. It was Sinclair Broadcasting, ABC's largest affiliate, that said, we don't want anything to do with this guy right now. Now, did the FCC get involved? Yes. Did they have a basis and a right to get involved? They did. We'll go through that in just a second. But it's not like, to my understanding, mobs of people who dedicate their life to deplatforming left-wing folks made phone calls to ABC and said, this guy's got to get off the air. To my understanding, that didn't happen. Where was the left when Roseanne Barr got canceled for making a joke? Where was the left when Gina Carano was removed from The Mandalorian for posting on social media? Where was the left when Jeremy Harrell got banned off of social media and deplatformed everywhere? And folks like Laura Loomer. Where were they talking about their free speech? Where were they? No, they were actually out there leading the charge to get people fired for speaking the truth about things like the COVID vaccine or the 2020 election or, I don't know, biology. The left doesn't care about free speech. Again, they are using the term, there's so much for the party of free speech. The party, Republicans, had nothing to do with Jimmy Kimmel's firing. Nothing. As a matter of fact, Sinclair Broadcasting's own statement said they don't believe the FCC is even doing enough. It's rare. It is rare when you see a broadcaster ask for more involvement from the FCC. Folks, nobody likes the FCC. T-Mobile especially does not like the FCC. Nobody likes the FCC. Especially not broadcasters. They are a royal pain in the behind for these people. A royal pain. They don't care. The left does not care about free speech. They are not defenders of free speech. They cheered when a man was murdered over free speech just a week ago. But now they're upset that Jimmy Kimmel lost his job and they're claiming First Amendment. Oh, this is a violation of free. Oh, it's canceled. No, it's consequence culture. He said things that were blatantly untrue about Charlie Kirk's assassin on public airwaves. You do not have to pay. You do not have to pay for access to ABC over the air. You could bring it in with an antenna. Those are public airwaves. And if you are given license to broadcast on public airwaves, you are then essentially agreeing to oversight from the public. And who represents the public? Who's supposed to represent the public? The government, the FCC. This has nothing to do with free speech. Nothing whatsoever. This is not a violation of the First Amendment. However, it is a damn good day. It's a damn good day that this happened. And it is a watershed moment in this quote unquote culture war where it shows you that even ABC affiliates know right from wrong here. Some, not all, but their biggest affiliate, Sinclair Broadcasting, said, ooh, no. It's huge. Huge. We'll get to the implications of that in just a second. Also, it was very nice news last night to hear that Antifa is being designated a major terrorist organization. Donald Trump made that announcement yesterday, so we'll get to that. A very bad situation in York County, Pennsylvania. York County, Pennsylvania. Police officers were attacked. I believe 3 of them died. I don't know much about the story, but they were serving or executing a search warrant and were shot. 3 of them were killed in Pennsylvania. And, oh, my. Well, we'll get to her in a minute. Candace.
Oh, my.
Candace Owens. People are like, why are you so obsessed with Candace? First of all, I'm not obsessed with Candace. But it's a story right now. And it is a story that I have been hitting for the last 8+ months about how much of a lunatic and a threat to this movement she was. And who was the very first person dividing MAGA who brought up Israel? It was Candace freaking Owens, guys. I told you about this. So now, yes, I'm going to, I don't care how annoying it is, how many people, I'm going to unfollow you. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Because it is time for people to realize We talk about a threat from within. She's right. She's staring at you. So we'll get to her in a little bit, too, in a little bit of she's having a bad week. She's having a bad week. Okay? And we'll get to that in just a second, because another thing that I believe I was 100% right about is playing out in real time. So we'll get to all that and more. Before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends at OFP Farms. OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN for 25% off, because it's a happy birthday, right? To OFP Farms, 11 wonderful years in business to date. They have successfully shipped over 16,000 packages, sharing their skin and pain relief magic across this beautiful country. As America's trusted source for soap, lotion, pain relief, and lip balm, they have received countless enthusiastic reviews that attest to the excellence of their products. And to celebrate for a limited time, they're offering 25% off of your entire purchase throughout September as a heartfelt thank you for support over the years. Discover the remarkable products from OFP Farms, a pioneer in natural ingredients, celebrated for the skin-nurturing benefits of tallow and fresh goat milk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Revolution soap right here. We love it. Whether you're in search of gentle skincare options or thoughtful gifts like the Revolution soap, which smells like the Battle of Saratoga. That's what it smells like right there. The Revolution soap and all of their products seamlessly blend expert craftsmanship with strong values to elevate your daily routine. I want you to take this opportunity to pick up premium products that support health and resonate with ethical choices for your entire family. OFP Farms takes pride in being a God-first, family-owned, patriotic company and is grateful to the thousands of incredible customers who have embraced their small farm and values and supported their farm-to-family skincare mission. Join me in wishing a very happy birthday to OFP Farms. We can sing for them in the chat, but go to OFPFarms.com and use the promo code Sean to send them some birthday support and get 25% off of your entire order. That is OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN, OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN for 25% off. OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean. All right. A little bit of water. I took a little Zyrtec yesterday, so now my throat's a little dry, but allergies feel better. Zerty. There you go. All right, here we go. Just to show you, this is what Candace Owens had to say about Charlie Kirk's pastor. That's right, because of course everybody is wrong except Candace Owens, right? Everybody's wrong including the pastor now. Watch this nonsense.
Lastly, I want to say to this new flex operation mocking pastor, regarding which, by the way, the first time they went after Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, a source told me, and I would love to get this confirmed, I'm going to find this out, that $150 million was spent on that, and it came from Bibi Netanyahu. I would like to figure out if that's true. But anyways, obviously investigating this, and I'm not going to let it go, okay? You're not going to emotionally use some jujitsu, and I'm referring here to Roy or Rob McCoy, who says, I'm Charlie's pastor, and here's the truth, or whatever it is, to look the other way right now, okay? You're not going to tell me that I have to feel too bad to investigate who shot my friend in front of my face.
Oh, now he's your friend,
Stop the nonsense. This is what Charlie's pastor passed around to all of the people that were intimidating Charlie leading up to his death.
Okay. I don't even want to. Because I think people are bringing up a very interesting point. And if you saw the Patrick Bet David podcast, a couple of days, was it yesterday? She was not. She may have been somebody who Charlie Kirk didn't detest. I don't know if he hated anybody, to be honest with you.
No, he didn't. I highly doubt he did.
I don't think you can call her a friend of Charlie Kirk, especially over the course of the last 8 or so months. First of all, they haven't been seen together anywhere. No pictures, nothing. She's now, I believe, lying that Charlie Kirk was turning Catholic.
Right.
Again, she's saying all of these. Kirk, when he was asked about his faith, said he was an evangelical Christian. He never mentioned like a specific denomination. But she keeps saying all of these things about him because he can't refute them. A friend, huh? You may have thought of yourself as Charlie Kirk's friend. Maybe you were Charlie Kirk's friend. I'm going to say all of the evidence that's out there that's like, they were really not seen with one another. There was the rumors now from the Patrick Bet David podcast that there was a silent breakup. And the way she's acting, I mean, look, if anything were to happen to me, and it won't, I don't want people who were on the periphery of my life making things up about me and saying that they were my friends, because they're not. All right. One more clip from her, but before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at Silent, which is something that Candace Owens should exercise, her right to remain silent. I would love it. Silent, slnt.com/Sean. Take back your privacy, folks. Let's face it. Your phone is a tracking device. Government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they're not asking for it. They're just taking it, right? That's why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means what? Means no tracking, means no remote access, means no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology that is trusted by special operations teams around the world, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now it is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and protect your digital footprint. Just drop your phone in a silent Faraday sleeve, and it is off the grid, completely silent and invisible to the outside world. From backpacks to sleeves to crossbody, Silent's patented technology gives you control of your privacy. Just visit slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, to save 15% and get free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. And most importantly, silence the chaos. slnt.com/SHAWN. Go silent today. All right, one more. This is Matt Walsh. And he is now calling out Candace Owens. Everybody is now calling out Candace Owens. Welcome to the club. Very happy you were able to join us. But I want you to listen to and this is why I use the term woke right. People are like, it doesn't make any sense. This is why it makes sense. Watch and listen.
All of the evidence points to left-wing LGBT extremists. It's not close. It's not ambiguous. Gay guy, trans boyfriend, Antifa messages on the bullets, trans people predicting the shooting ahead of time. I mean, this is not close. This is not left or right. I don't care. Do stop trying to make this a trans issue or right. That whole debate, it's low, guys. I'm telling you that is not where we need to be right now as a society. We are fighting evil people who rule over us and impact both sides. Okay, that's the wake up call. That's the wake up call we all need right now. And I hope that people are waking up to that fact. And that's what we're up against, which is why we just need to put it all to the side. I'm extending the olive branch to anyone on the right who I've had any problem with. And if you are on the left, you are not my enemy. If you
If you are on the left, you are not my enemy. I need a gavel. That's a confession.
Oh, we need to get one of those.
That's a confession. So I don't really care what you think about Candace Owens. I don't really care how long you've been following Candace Owens. Today, this line stops when you're talking to me. Stop the infighting. Because she just told me that the left is not her enemy. Therefore, it's not infighting. She is the enemy. This is why we use the term woke right. If you're on the left, you're not my enemy. Oh, no. We know who your enemies are, Candace. We know who your enemies are. Yeah. We know all about it. If you're on the left, you're not my enemy. Okay. Thanks for telling us what side you're on. So you go ahead and you blindly follow this wretched, wicked woman down whatever path she leads you on. Just know that the woman that you are blindly following, because she may have said a few things that tickled your ear over the last couple of years, just told you that the left is not her enemy. And I'll leave it at that. All right, Jimmy Kimmel is out. I want to take a flashback to after when Donald Trump won the 2024 election. This is the guy who got fired because of his comments over Charlie Kirk. Watch.
Let's be honest. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
You see the tears, right? 9 days. Where's 9 days? This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. While she looks so right there. Oh, we lost the election to the climate. Get out of here. All right. This is what Jimmy Kimmel said in the direct wake of Charlie Kirk's death.
We're still trying to wrap our heads around the senseless murder.
Now, hold on. No. And let me preface this. We're still trying to wrap our heads around. We're still getting the information, right? Listen to the way he characterizes this versus what I'm going to play next. I just want to show you.
We're still trying to wrap our heads around the senseless murder of the popular podcaster and conservative activist Charlie Kirk yesterday, whose death has amplified our anger, our differences. And I've seen a lot of extraordinarily vile responses to this from both sides of the political spectrum.
Both sides.
Some people are cheering this, which is something I won't ever understand. And we had another school shooting yesterday in Colorado, the 100th one of the year. And with all these terrible things happening, you would think that our president will at least make an attempt to bring us together. But
Yeah, right. Both sides, huh, Jimmy? Oh, we're still getting the information, and it seems like it's happening on both sides. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Okay, fine. First of all, before we go down the what actually got Jimmy Kimmel in trouble, because both of those things have not gotten him in trouble. Okay, I mean it drew criticism, but not in professional trouble. Both sides, huh? Which side was calling their political opponents a fascist that wound up radicalizing somebody to take a shot at one of their most prominent voices? It wasn't the right. By the way, here's the bucktooth, Botox, booby bandit of Buffalo, Kathy Hochul. Remember over redistricting? It was a quote-unquote war.
Don't care, will not invest their heart and soul into this battle. This is a war. We are at war.
Oh, we're at war. Okay, thanks. How about when remember the wild hog, LaMonica McIver, said the same thing?
And let them know, especially the Republicans, that we will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war.
We're at war. Okay, cool. Very nice. How about these leftists who were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death?
Hey, so Charlie Kirk just got shot. Maybe there are good guys with guns out there.
Update. Charlie Kirk is officially looking up at us, and I'm about to head to the grocery store because I'm making ribs tonight. Oh, but he was a man with a wife and kids. Yeah, and now they're safe from him.
Unbelievable. I'm sorry that I have to play it, but it's because of the point that has to be made here. Here's another one.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
Okay. Both sides, huh? Both sides, Jimmy? We're still getting the information, and I've seen it on both sides. You're still getting the information? Cool. Where was that approach when you said this?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
All right. So Jimmy Kimmel saying that the Kirk shooter is one of their own, referring to MAGA and referring to the assassin. Remember that psyop that went on over the week? Well, he's from a conservative family, and his father was a MAGA supporter, and they're Christian Mormons, and, that whole thing, right? Remember that psyop? He must have been MAGA. That's why he killed Charlie Kirk. What? I'm sorry. I didn't know MAGA wrote, Antifa lingo on bullets and thought that people who they would agree with are fascists. So the largest affiliate for ABC, Sinclair Broadcasting, said the following. Again, this is Sinclair Broadcasting. This is not the government, okay? ABC's largest affiliate. And, I want to point to one other thing here with Sinclair Broadcasting, what they said before this statement, because it is very important. Let me actually bring this statement down, and then we'll get back to the statement in a second. This shows you what the firing of Jimmy Kimmel was actually about. And it's not a free speech issue, folks. Not a free speech issue. 15 hours ago, due to problematic comments regarding the murder of Charlie Kirk in programming provided to broadcast stations by ABC, Sinclair and its partners, which operate ABC stations in 30 markets in the United States, will stop airing Jimmy Kimmel's show until further notice. Here is the statement that Sinclair also wound up releasing. It says the following. Sinclair says Kimmel's suspension is not enough, calls on the FCC and ABC to take additional action. Calls on the FCC to take additional action. Sinclair's ABC stations to air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel's live time slot on Friday. Maryland, September 17, 2025. Sinclair, the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. Following these discussions, ABC has suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Quote, Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment of our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate the FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel's live time slot. The special will also air across all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, Sinclair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Regardless of ABC's plans for future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps had been taken to uphold the standards standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Why did Sinclair Media do this? Why did Sinclair Broadcasting do this? Because they realize they do not want to be associated with somebody who is making not just vile, but inaccurate, and that's the point that I'm going to make after this break, inaccurate comments about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, how is this any different than, someone saying the 2020 election was a conspiracy theory? Well, that it was stolen. Well, in a way, it's really not different. Again, these broadcasters can do what they like. They can air what they want. And it is the right of these networks and these broadcasters to assert control over what is being, pushed out on their airwaves. But it is also the right of the FCC to enforce its own policies. And there are policies that are supposed to restrict what Jimmy Kimmel did. Insensitive comments, that's not something that the FCC can, there's indecency and explicit stuff, etc. But insensitive comments are just that. They're insensitive. They're gross. They're disgusting. And I believe the market, the people should say, okay, that was an insensitive comment. We don't like this guy's brand anymore and shut him off. Inaccurate comments, that's a different story. And the FCC has the ability to levy consequences on people. Now, again, there are fine lines. There's jokes. There's satire. And then there's what Jimmy Kimmel did in that clip saying the shooter is anything other than their own. It's total crap. And that's where the FCC is attacking them. So we will get to that in just a moment. Before we do, I want to get to a word from our friends over at My Patriot Supply. It is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Did you know that September is National Preparedness Month? Because it is. It's National Preparedness Month. So get on over to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned and take advantage of the best preparedness deal that My Patriot Supply has ever offered. September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if the storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's some room for improvement on all this stuff, but luckily, we're very lucky that our friends at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear absolutely free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit and includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, and a solar backup generator, and a whole lot more. Here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned for full details. Again, My Patriot Supply is making it easier than ever to get prepared for a crisis. 90 items totaling over $1,500 are yours free, but only for this month. Again, if you want to learn more, go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned for full details. Get prepared and be prepared for anything. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Check it out today. Let me take a quick drink. We will throw Mo up today. I see 800. All right. We are going to do it. I haven't really felt right doing the Mo thing over the last week, but it's time to start having some fun again. All right. Let's get to this. We'll go to Golden Crest Metals, and we'll jump back into Jimmy Kimmel. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. One of our amazing sponsors. A message on behalf of GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA from the great Jeremy Harrell.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees. No pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen, and it'll take you right there. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Again, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Golden Crest, being a part of the show. We appreciate it. All right. Back to Jimmy Kimmel. So what did Jimmy Kimmel do? Because making insensitive comments or out-of-touch comments like that is not against the law. And it's not something that the FCC can enforce, right? They can't be like, that was insensitive. You can't do, unfortunately, there are restrictions, but also fortunately, by the way. Sometimes the market has to act, right? Why did Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, why has the View's ratings started to plummet? Why has MSNBC's ratings started to plummet? Because people are done with what they're actually saying. It's not like, that was nasty what Rachel Maddow said last night. Fire her, or the FCC has to put her in jail, or they can't do that, but, take away broadcasting licenses, etc. Right? For example, here is what ABC said, and ABC, not ABC themselves, but a reporter for ABC News, when that text exchange came out between the assassin and his boyfriend. Listen to this. And keep in mind that this guy is gay, which I don't really care about, but keep in mind when you hear how he characterized those texts. By the way, those texts were about killing somebody. Saying, Grandpa's gun worked pretty well today, talking about how he was able to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Listen to this.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So
get out of here. You're so lovingly. He's, oh, wow, it was touching. Touching, he just bragged about murdering somebody. But this flambe is out there talking about, he's with the boyfriend and he called him my love. And what? Who gives it? Are you kidding me? Now, the FCC can't go after that. That's just an opinion. It's stupid. It's insensitive. I think it's a way to sugarcoat what went on. But the FCC can't go after that. The FCC can investigate and review ABC's broadcasting license over what Jimmy Kimmel did, and here's why. There's something that the FCC has in place from the Communications Act of 1934 called the statutory mandate. The FCC's authority comes from the Communications Act of 1934, which was codified in Title 47 of the United States Code. The most relevant section is 47 U.S. Code Section 309A, which governs broadcast licenses. And it says the following, quote, "The commission shall determine in the case of each application filed with it to which this section applies, whether the public interest, convenience, and necessity will be served by the granting of such application. What it means is that broadcast frequencies are considered public property. Over-the-air broadcast frequencies are public property. Broadcasters do not own their airwaves. They are licensed stewards using spectrum held in trust for the public. The FCC must grant, renew, or revoke licenses based on whether the station serves the public interest, convenience, and necessity. The language is broad, it's flexible, it gives the FCC a lot of discretion, but it is also constrained by the First Amendment, meaning the FCC can't just police content that it dislikes. The public interest standard is where this comes into play and paints the entire picture. The public interest standard is deliberately vague. Congress never defined it precisely, leaving the FCC and the courts to interpret it case by case. The public interest standards prohibits deliberate falsification of news which undermines informed public decision-making. It ensures that stations provide accurate alerts and public safety messages. Stations must consider the needs of their local audience, not just national interests. This is how it connects to there's a news distortion rule as well. Okay? You cannot knowingly publish false or fake news. It violates the duty of these broadcasters because it erodes the public's ability to make informed decisions. Now, there's got to be evidence that they knew this was false. But the evidence is what? The evidence is the evidence in the case. It's clear that the shooter was not MAGA. It's clear that the shooter was not MAGA. That the shooter was not right wing. It also, with regards to the public interest idea, this is one of the most important things. If it was regarding a significant public event, like the distortion of news can't just be about, a policy or tariffs or something. A significant public event like an election, a natural disaster, or a violent incident. Jimmy Kimmel intentionally mischaracterized and knowingly mischaracterized the nature of Charlie Kirk's assassin, the political ideologies of Charlie Kirk's assassin. And that has massive downstream effects. Massive downstream effects on public perception. I mean, this just furthers the whole, he was MAGA. It's not our fault. Just because we call him a fascist, that's not what drove him to assassinate Charlie Kirk. It was MAGA. Jimmy Kimmel said so. I want to wrap it up with this on the Jimmy Kimmel conversation. Because some people are like, oh, now conservatives are applauding somebody being silenced. Jimmy Kimmel's not being silenced. Jimmy Kimmel is not being silenced. Does Jimmy Kimmel have one of these? Does Jimmy Kimmel still have social media? Does Jimmy Kimmel still have a website? Is Jimmy Kimmel still on X? Can Jimmy Kimmel make a Blue Sky account tomorrow and gain hundreds of thousands of followers because he's being viewed by these deranged people as some sort of martyr? Jimmy Kimmel's not being silenced. Jimmy Kimmel's allowed to speak. Jimmy Kimmel's not even being held criminally responsible for what he did because of the First Amendment. Jimmy Kimmel was fired, not silenced. He was fired because he exposed his employer to violations and subsequent enforcement of the news distortion doctrine and the FCC's statutory mandate with regards to the public interest. He exposed his network to that scrutiny. Nobody forced him to do that. The employer said, this guy isn't worth it anymore. Consequence culture. It's not cancel culture. Now, if Jimmy Kimmel is truly as talented as many on the left want to say, oh, he was great. He was there. Oh, my gosh, this is terrible. Then another network can pick him up. I hear there's an opening at CBS, right? Isn't Stephen Colbert losing his show? Well, maybe they'll go with Jimmy Kimmel next. Who knows? If he's truly that talented, if he truly provides that much value, another network will have no problem adding Jimmy Kimmel to their lineup. And by the way, it is their right to do so. But Jimmy Kimmel's not being silenced. Jimmy Kimmel tomorrow can live stream on his X account at the push of a button with no restrictions. He just can't incite violence. He doesn't have a network to answer to. He doesn't have producers to answer to. He could just pop his phone on and talk. He's not being silenced. You know who was silenced? Donald Trump was silenced in 2021 when he was still the president of the United States and was deplatformed everywhere. Jeremy was silenced when he spoke truth during the COVID years. Laura Loomer was silenced when she was investigating and exposing a whole lot of crazy stuff. So many people. James O'Keefe was silenced. He lost his social media accounts everywhere. Many of us were silenced because there was nowhere else to go. We weren't able to just sign on to Rumble. It didn't exist yet in the capacity that it exists. Remember, we had to go to Parler. Parler was silenced and deplatformed. We had to wait for platforms like Getter. We had to wait for platforms like Truth Social. We had to wait for platforms like Rumble to be able to accommodate the large number of people who were actually silenced. Jimmy Kimmel's not being silenced. He got fired because he did something on the air that exposed his employer to massive FCC scrutiny and potential enforcement of their rules and regulations. Consequence culture. And I'd expect the exact same thing if, when I was wearing my Sherwin-Williams shirt, working in that store, if I dropped a racial slur, something nasty, told customers to go F themselves, and was a bad reflection of the company, I would expect to be removed too. Consequence culture. And again, this came from in-house. This came from Sinclair Broadcasting, ABC's largest affiliate. This was not a mob of sick people going, we're going to get Jimmy Kimmel deplatformed. We're going to call the... No. This came from Sinclair Broadcasting that was disgusted by something that Jimmy Kimmel said in the reporting that he was doing, knowingly false reporting that he was doing on the Kirk assassination. And they said, nope. We're done. We're taking a stand. And what did we tell you last week? That's the type of stuff it's going to take. That's the type of stuff it's going to take. What's happening now as a result of Jimmy Kimmel being a complete jackass? Memorials and tributes to Charlie Kirk are now going to be airing on ABC. People that would otherwise not have gotten that content, maybe they don't know about what's going on right now, are going to see memorials to a great man this weekend. They're going to see tributes to an honorable man starting Friday night. It's going to take more than just Sinclair Broadcasting, but that is a huge development. How many other networks are going to follow suit? I don't know. It might be none. But this is the type of stuff it's going to take. There are decent people out there who are disgusted by what they're seeing on the radical left, who don't know what to do. If you are in a position like Sinclair Broadcasting is, you know what to do. Take a stand. People will appreciate it. All right. Quick break. Patriot Mobile. It's patriotmobile.com. patriotmobile.com/FARASH. Speaking of taking a stand, that is what this organization does. This company's great. They take a stand for the things that you believe in, that I believe in. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And listen, I know we hear the commercials all the time. Everyone's got them. There's new wireless providers popping up all over the place. everywhere. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly takes that stand in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. The good news is you can switch to Patriot Mobile today without sacrificing any quality or service. Patriot Mobile makes it easy. If you're worried about coverage, you don't have to be worried about coverage. Patriot Mobile uses all 3 major U.S. networks. If you have service in this country today, you will have as good or better service in this country tomorrow when you switch to Patriot Mobile. If you think switching is a hassle, it used to be, but it's not anymore. You can keep your phone. You can keep your number. You can upgrade. Patriot Mobile has a 100% U.S.-based team that will get you activated in mere minutes from the comfort of your own home. If you're stuck in a contract or you owe money on your phones, Hakuna Matata. No worries. Patriot Mobile will help you out. They have a contract buyout program as well, ready to work for you. This is how we win, by aligning our spending with our values. Every dollar that we spend matters. Where we spend it matters. So go to patriotmobile.com/FARASH. Call 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code FARASH. It's Farish for a free month of service. Switch today at patriotmobile.com/Farish or 972-PATRIOT. Promo code FARASH for a free month of service. Make the switch to Patriot Mobile today. All right. I think that's it for Kimmel. We've, I'm pretty sure, laid that out rather clearly, I think.
Yeah, they want you to make a short clip on that.
Okay, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
That won't be difficult. This is good news that we were going to lead with today, just because I've had a personal run-in with these clowns, and it's a good thing that it's finally happening. President Trump is designating Antifa a major terrorist organization. Long overdue, but better late than never, as we would say, right? Long overdue, but better late than never. Also, this incident in Pennsylvania, don't know the full story yet. Now, that doesn't mean the full story is not out. I just don't know it yet. But 5 law enforcement officers were shot yesterday in York County, Pennsylvania. According to NBC 10 Philly, the officers were in Codoris Township following up on a domestic investigation that began on Tuesday. There are simply no words I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced. That's from Colonel Christopher Paris. Authorities said the officers were shot by a suspect while serving the warrant. The suspect is believed to have died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 3 officers were killed, at least 3. 2 others were wounded. And this just goes to show you that our law enforcement officers, they put themselves on the line for us every day. And they make the community safer. I know some people, I believe for the sake of being contrarians and annoying, say law enforcement does not deter crime. Fine. They do. I think our chat proved that too. Hey, if I see a cop, I slow down, right? Because it's a deterrent from speeding, because you don't want to pay the ticket, have points on your license. But they put their lives on the line every day. Those 3 officers expected, and their goal was to go home at the end of the day, and they didn't. So, this is why the rhetoric against cops. We've seen this happen with ICE agents, with cops. This whole idea that they're the enemy. Well, they're only your enemy if you're a criminal. I don't view the police as my enemy because I'm not a criminal. Even when I get pulled over for speeding, it's not my enemy. It's my own fault. I sped. All right. Finally, I just got to take a quick little victory lap, okay? I mentioned yesterday that the internet, and a lot of folks on the internet, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, has a tendency to dive down anything that slightly resembles a rabbit hole that feels good. And I'm not saying researching and looking into things and asking questions is a bad thing. What I'm saying is when we're doing that, we should make sure that we're remaining reasonable. This story about Brigitte Macron and whether or not she's a guy I have said it is ridiculous from the onset. People are like, oh, you're defending a tranny. No, I'm not. I'm defending reality. This has always reeked of buffoonish Just outright stupidity. And it was beautiful click farming, and everyone goes, look, Brigitte Macron's a man. Now, Brigitte Macron is ugly. She's weird for how she, allegedly groomed Emmanuel Macron. That doesn't mean she's a dude. Candace Owens got sued. Oh, they're shutting down free speech. They're not doing that. Defamation is not free speech. It's not protected. So now Brigitte Macron is producing and presenting scientific and photographic evidence to a United States court that proves that she is a female, including pictures of her when she was pregnant, including what is being reported as generic and specific information regarding her gender. And Candace Owens is going to lose. As I said, the Macrons are not bringing this suit because they don't have the information. The Macrons are bringing this suit because they know they're going to win it very quickly. I told you this. I have been saying it for months. The woman is a lunatic. Off of you. And it's about damn time consequence culture comes back around and serves Candace Owens the meal that she's desperately been waiting for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and listening. Really appreciate it. Jeremy Harrell is coming up next here on LFA TV. Wherever you're watching, go to rumble.com/LFA TV. That is home base. That is the Cool Kids table. Jeremy Harrell will be there for the next 3 hours. Check out the LFA TV store at lfatv.us, lfatv.us, lfatv.us. Click on this Visit the Store tab on the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. You'll see everything that there is to offer on the LFA TV store. And let Jeremy know in his chat on rumble.com/LFA TV. After you've hit that follow button and you've hit the like button, let Jeremy Harrell know that you just got something awesome from the LFA TV store. He's up next. As President Trump says, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never, ever surrender. And if all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll be on with Carl Higbee and Kay Smythe today. Kay Smythe Hill today at 6:30 Eastern time. What did you say?
I was going to say she's pregnant.
And she's pregnant.
How exciting is that?
Announced it on Instagram, so that's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations to Kay and John. I'll be on with them later today, and we'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Also PHT tomorrow morning, 7:45 to 9:45 Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day. Jeremy Harrell up next. Bang, gavel, and thank you for your attention to this matter.